So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chloe the Dev Unfiltered. This kind of show, let's call it a show, let's call it is a time for me to use Chloe the Dev.near. So generally I'm interacting with the Near blockchain, the Near ecosystem. And it's live, right? So sometimes things aren't working, sometimes the RPC nodes are overloaded, like it's difficult to get a request into the network, and so it takes a long time to submit a transaction. That's kind of why I'm on this page right here. There's always just different things going on. I enjoy having a recording for myself of me interacting with the blockchain. I love interacting with blockchain. It's actually quite fun for me. The Near blockchain is quite user-friendly. I find as though like my mother, my wife, my family and friends are able to use it. And so when I come show this weird little toy, like, hey, come play with this cool thing, they're actually, we can get a guide written for that, from some interns or some people that work with us in our community. And we can actually get guides written for our family and friends. So that's why I usually interact with Near. So if people are curious, why Near? Low transaction fees, easy to use. My family and friends can use it. As someone who is, I guess, like a researcher, educator, if I use something and then I can't actually explain what that is to someone else, it's not really very valuable. So yeah, I've been using Meteor Wallet because Meteor Wallet has seemed like the simplest wallet to use for me, at least, right? Interacting with like a laptop or, a desktop, right? Not my mobile device. I've actually been using Meteor on mobile as well. It's so easy just to open up a web page. They do allow you to password protect your wallet. I usually don't have this much funds in my Chloe the Dev wallet, just my testing experimental wallet. But as we'll talk about a bit later, Delta Trade is now live with marmaj. It was a small bug, which I caught. I noticed yesterday. The developer is fixing it, so the developer's been quite active. We'll go through that shortly, but that is why there's a bit of extra funds on the account currently. We're going to talk through some ways to set box trade strategies as well. Like I used to use nearwallet.org, whatever, all the time. And then when that got shut down, I used my Near wallet because it was just very similar, and it's actually run by the same team as Meteor wallet. So Meteor wallet also manages my Near wallet, and so for me it was totally easy to make the switch. One thing I did want to quickly show was the little Tinkerbot mining in here, which I think is super cute. So hopefully for using, in my opinion, this is something a bot would be useful for. I've never read terms and conditions here. If I was supposed to, I'm sorry. But this harvesting seems like something a bot would be useful for. I have no clue what the value of these things. I have 5 tinkers right now. I don't even know. I've been farming for 16 total hours. I do not do this nearly enough, but I will do it at least once a week on this stream from now on. That is something that I can hopefully do. You can share it, I guess. You can get more recruits. You get contracts to hire people, honestly. So I don't even know how I know if I got those little things. I just go to Tinkers, and I honestly, the UI for me is a bit confusing. I don't think I have any contracts. You have 0, but I always just click recruit and see. There you go. I have none. You need to have this little contract thing. So apparently, as you harvest, there's a chance of getting these contract things, and then you use these contracts to hire Tinkers, and the Tinkers help you to mine faster. It's kind of cute. At least you have contracts, right? Like at least they're not working. They can form a little union, hopefully, and make sure their rights are being taken care of as they mine away for us. And then they don't mine constantly, right? They only mine for a few hours. You can upgrade, right? Apparently, so I upgraded once. Look at me go. Can I upgrade again? Oh my gosh! Look at this. So I've been mining. Look at me go. I can now. These miners, these tinkers, can mine for 4 hours at a time before they take a break. So huge upgrade, right? This is awesome. I guess. Let's do it. So I guess I'm assuming. There you go. Success. Container successful upgraded successfully. Awesome. And I guess as I earn more of these moon things, I can keep upgrading my storage. I don't know. To me, it's something fun to have in the wallet. I think wallets are definitely the gateway to users. I mean, like for everything though. Most people aren't really going to go to Ref.finance, right? Like your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, they're probably not going to Ref.finance to swap anything. And that's why I think it's so cool that Mintbase added in like the AI ref swapping, because people like AI and they want to test AI and they want to like feel hip and cool that they know how to use AI. And so now all of a sudden you could have Near in your wallet and you could say, hey, test out this AI thing and buy some MPDAO tokens, right? And that could be the way, speaking to your phone can be the way in which you're swapping from Near to this governance token. And then, potentially maybe you're asking your phone, hey, you're speaking to your wallet, right? Like your wallet is what, you're not really interacting with Ref.finance. You're probably not interacting with Metapool either. Eventually, it's just going to be, you speak to your wallet probably and say, hey, I want to vote. I want to lock up my MPDAO tokens in this. Do you approve of this transaction? Yes. Okay. As long as you're okay with it. Yes, you'll do the marketing will be on the MPDAO .app or whatever it is, .app, yeah. And the marketing for Metapool will be here, of course. But the way in which users interact with that, in my opinion at least, it's really easy to have it all in your wallet. And I think we're seeing this now with you have your NFTs in here that you can look at. Sorry, I'm in this little tinker thing still. You have your NFTs that you can look at. Although it says I have no NFTs, which I don't think can be true for any of my wallets. So I don't know if this is, we'll ski. You know what? I'll switch to a wallet that I know has an NFT. Like, all of these have NFTs. What do you mean? Let's see. Yeah, okay. We'll try one more. These all should have NFTs on them. Yeah, so I don't know if the NFT thing is working. So there's that. When I think of wallets as being the gateway, I really think of Mintbase, to be fair. Mintbase is not as simple as it is. Yeah, I don't think, there's no way I could have no NFTs on closingdev.net. That seems unreasonable. But generally starting off on these streams, yes, I will make sure I check my little tinkers and their work, but generally going to be jumping into speaking about Metapool, all things Metapool, to be honest. Just off the bat, I mean, Metapool, if people don't know what the heck is going on, like what is Metapool, what is this? I mean, they do a pretty good job. Multi-chain staking DAO. Ooh, fancy. It does sound pretty fancy in my opinion. So as we're talking about Metapool, and everyone's here helping me out with the sound, which is much appreciated. Metapool pretty much just tries to, as it says, multi-chain staking DAO, allow for liquid staking derivatives on a number of platforms. So generally, a lot of blockchains these days, to secure themselves, they allow you to take their native token and then stake it with validators, which are just computers that run code to make sure everything stays secure. They enforce all the rules of the blockchain. They make sure that when Bob sends Sally 10 and Near, it actually went there and everything's going good. So yeah, I do have some meta tokens that I'll say it early because I appreciate everyone being here. So you can, if you have a Near account, you can just drop it at any point during the stream. One of the tokens I have in this wonderful account of mine is some meta, and one of the issues that I have personally is that you can only migrate your meta per account once. So closingdev.near has already migrated, and so closingdev.near cannot migrate again, and I don't feel like having 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts to migrate. So I have a little bit of meta, 673, not that much, but I can send out to a few people here. You can test out what we're going to be talking about. So what Metapool allows you to do is take your Near tokens, for example, and deposit them into Metapool, and they will delegate them to validators. There's actually a bunch of validators, so you can actually vote on these validators if you'd like. But there are hundreds, which is so cool to say. I mean, for those, Vandal, I know for sure would be one of those people that would remember. Even speaking about Near having hundreds of validators is an amazing accomplishment, in my opinion, right? I remember the good old days when, drop down to 60-something validators, and it would be like, okay, well, it's all good, more will come online as time goes on. But these days, there are hundreds of validators to choose from. One of the things I've talked about many times is it'd be awesome if we can get more information on this user interface about these validators, because I think it's actually very daunting, in my opinion, sometimes, to try and know who to vote for. And so again, not only is this not financial advice, this is not governance advice. I'm not telling you who to vote for. But one, if anyone does get stuck at this spot, one project that I do tend to vote for is Near. In my opinion, as the average user of the Near protocol, the Near blockchain, you've probably been supported by Near at least some point in time. Yeah, potluck style voting for validators. That would be. I don't think it's quadratic, which would be interesting. That's something I do not actually know. So that's actually a very good comment. So Vandal's comment was basically potluck style voting for validators. And basically Potluck is a platform on Near, which is kind of like Gitcoin, allows you to take your Near tokens, vote for different projects, and it kind of gets matched quadratically in different rounds, which is pretty cool. So shout out to Shot and the Banyan team and all those really cool people who are building Potluck. But just a totally cool topic of, because you have voting power in the Metapool ecosystem. You take your MPDAO tokens. We talked about a lot of this already, so I don't want to repeat everything, so we'll kind of fast forward a bit. Yeah, so you have your MPDAO tokens. You lock them up for a set amount of time. So, you go to your votes. I like this little dashboard here. You can kind of write, if you put, 819 MPDAO tokens, and you lock them for a certain amount of time. So if you've watched the previous streams I've done, the APR has come down by about 50%, which is, in my opinion, a good thing. Okay, these are positives. We're very sometimes we have sometimes perverse incentives, in my opinion, within the blockchain ecosystem, where we see APRs going down and we think, oh my gosh, we have to withdraw, we have to shut it down. But bear with us for a moment. If APR is going down, that means more people, or at least more meta or MPDAO tokens are being locked into the ecosystem, which means that more tokens are not on the market in general, right? And hopefully more people are engaging in governance, which is the goal, right? Getting 70% APR for the rest of our lives is cool, right? It sounds awesome. And hopefully people can find that. But for a long-term ecosystem to grow, it might be helpful to have sustainable APRs and more people engaging. But still, I think this is, you put $34 in. Maybe I should zoom my screen a little bit for other people as well. But it seems to be around $34 US. And it seems to be, annually is never useful to look at, in my opinion. So yeah, monthly, in my opinion at least, is a little more useful to look at, because, over time, the prices of these things can change quite a bit, and you might only want to lock up for a shorter amount of time. But it seems to be if you lock up for 300 days, you'd have around 4,000 voting power. So your voting power does get increased by locking up for a longer period of time, which means that you have more power in governance. So whether it's voting for validators, which we'll keep discussing, or whether it's voting for grant initiatives, which is where a lot of my discussions are going to be for the next few streams after today. I think the grants still aren't out today, so I'll actually open this in a new tab just so we can see. So yeah, sadly today, The grants aren't out yet. The grant deadline is today. So if you have no clue what Metapool grants are or what's going on, then, I mean, honestly, you should probably, like, maybe you can keep the stream open, but you should probably hop off the stream, go to the docs right here, just search grants, and then just read this information, and I can drop it in the chat. So yeah, if you do not, like, you do something in the ecosystem to support in, like, education, if you have an idea for what might bring in more total value locked for the ecosystem, so bring in more people voting, right? So when we talk about TLV and Metapool, we're talking about people locking their tokens up, not just for earning APR. I mean, that's great, that's awesome. I'm glad that there's some giving back to the voters. I think that's very a very cyclical, long-term, ecosystem. See, Vandal too busy. You need to hire some intern from the community, who's writing these grants and getting some funding from. Anyways, I'm joking. I know, and I think that's kind of why I do these streams. I mean, I am a Metapool ambassador. I just, I think there's 110,000 or 130,000. The number keeps going up with how much funds they have to distribute for the next grant round, for grant round 7. I always love seeing funds going back to the community and people that are building in the community. And so, I mean, these grants are for anything. Brand awareness. So Mental Maze, if you're gonna, do some Metapool kind of education questions in there, or any kind of cross, marketing, as you kind of launch. In my opinion, it all kind of would be relevant. And as we can see, I mean, one of the most important parts of Metapool these days is that it's multi-chain. So it does not. So if someone's watching this in the future and is like, okay, we're talking a lot about Near on this call, and yes, I constantly talk about Near. I love Near. I think Near it's very useful. It's easy to use. Okay, I've tried all. I mean, I haven't tried Q. I've tried to try Q. It's on the list. It's a bit too confusing for me. But Aurora, I've tried. Near, of course. Solana, I've attempted to try multiple times. I've staked with validators there a few times. And Ethereum, obviously, my true love, Ethereum. I use whenever I can. But Ethereum is expensive, to be just blatant about that, and not very reasonable for the average person to use. But if you have initiatives on Solana, has a very large community, and so if you have ideas with the Solana community, feel free to submit for the grant round as well. If you are doing things on Aurora, so if Ethereum is too expensive, but you want to stay in the EVM side of things and you want to do things on Aurora, that could be something you're doing. We do have an Aurora community, that's very vibrant. Maybe they want to support there. So, and maybe you're watching this like, hey, I think I could, do what Chloe's doing. If I could just randomly do stream of consciousness talks about Metapool, then cool. You can do X posts and stuff like that. And there is an ambassador program as well. So if you think you'd like to be an ambassador and do stuff like this, usually on X, I'm probably the only ambassador that does it this way, but that's okay. Chloe's a little special. Anyways, what I really wanted to discuss a little bit more was the validators, and obviously please take your time to go through these validators. One thing I will continue to show on these streams, because there is not much information here, so as you kind of go through and let's say you decide Luba nodes sounds like a great validator to support, and you click that, there really won't be much information. You might get to know the historical stake for Metapool to that validator. You might get to know some of your information about staking, but there's not necessarily much information about the like what are you actually supporting. Like if you have this Near, so if you have this, I mean, for now, it's MP DAO tokens, which gives you voting power, and that voting power allows you to help delegate and push Near to different validators. And I really wonder if it's quadratic. I guess it's not, it's like, there's some algorithm. I don't think it's quadratic, but anyways. But you push this voting power toward validators, but, you know, arguably you have this vote, and that vote could mean something, right? Like, you could band together with a community and push your voting power, but you will not see much information here of who to vote for, which in my opinion is one thing that I think should be changed. The one place, a place where you can find more information is near blocks. There's other places to find this information. In my opinion, I love near blocks. It's very nostalgic as an Etherscan user, and I think it actually builds on top of some of that. So you can see all like the latest blocks, latest shards. I'm going to keep making this a bit bigger for myself and for you guys. But as you're here, it could be a little bit daunting as well with a lot of the information if you don't really know what's going on. A lot of it is very useful to look at though. So for example, average block time. The Near protocol arguably tries to keep a 1 second block time. So when you see a block time above 1 second, you know, that just means it took a bit longer for, you know, the process to come together, to keep it really, really simple. And, you know, if you see block time below a second, which I don't think we've seen for a while, I mean, okay, usually there's charts for all of this, which is really cool. Oh no, it's not actually giving us, okay, I'm not going to go through all this on this stream, sorry. Not what this stream is about. We can do a different stream about digging through all that information. But it is interesting to see, you know, block time. Transaction history, I think, is also really interesting, like how many transactions have gone through and what was the price of Near at that time. Is there a correlation between the price of Near and how many transactions are going through? Usually, in my opinion, there is a lot, like when there's, or just lots of price change. But when it's going up, usually people are happier and you know, buying more and being more active. And then there's obviously Near price. But if you go to active validators specifically, we'll stick there, you will actually get a lot more information about the validators that are there. So this little down arrow will open up more information. So Astro Stakers, they have a website that we can go to. Hopefully it's working. There you go. Enterprise-grade infrastructure for non-custodial staking and decentralized oracles. Okay, this is what they do. Silicon Valley built and operated, globally distributed, self-funded. Maybe you want to support this self-funded venture, right? They're on Ethereum, they're on Near, they're on Sui, they have a partnership with Here Wallet. Awesome. So if you would like to support this project or this company, right, you know, you can go to Metapool under the validators. You can go to Astro, and you can find Astro Stakers. They actually have quite a high APY, right? It's higher than Near Weeks. Near Weeks was like 8 point something %. Astro Stakers giving you a good return apparently. Look at that, Silicon Valley operated. There you go, doing well. And you could take your voting power. I mean, you have to have some to do it, right? But you can take your voting power. You can vote for the validator, and you can support them, right? And there's all this information. So usually they have an X account, right? So you can follow them on Twitter, maybe see what kind of stuff they're posting. Okay, yeah, now they're paywalled. Thanks, Elon. Well, thanks AI, I guess. Because I mean, it's expensive to host your servers, right? So if AI keeps, you know, trying to look at your sites all the time, that gets expensive to host your sites as well. So I understand putting a paywall up for financial reasons, but come on, for the average user, such a hassle. Not a fan of X much anymore. But you can email them and you can get in touch, right? And usually if there's a flag, which is like the country flag, usually that means they have some information. And so, you know, Zavodil, you know, our friendly neighborhood HOM member. So you know, if you want to support the HOM members that are there, you can find other validators there as well. Doing pretty well. 16%, 18% of the stake for Zavodil pool. Nice, good job. Awesome. You can, you know, Figment, a learning and education platform. So, you know, I have a friend that I think still works for Figment on their education platform. So you can engage there. and support, education for the, for the whole Web3 ecosystem. They do education for Solana, Ethereum, not as much on Near anymore, but they've done some stuff in the past. So I mean, there's hundreds, right? We've already kind of discussed this, and so in my opinion, the difficulty is it can be a bit difficult to understand who to vote for currently. So validators are great. I think everyone should try and dig in more. But in my opinion, for the average user, it isn't very engaging. There's some validators are there apparently to support women. Again, I have not. I've actually I've had a call with the person that manages that validator, and I will say, I personally don't understand how the funds for that are being used to support women. I'm not going to name them out or anything like that. That's fine. But it is there. There's a validator to support privacy, so that one I will show. I do know the owner. I know of, I guess, ZK. So there is. You can vote to support privacy, which I think is really cool. Pretty sure this goes to the people that run the Zero Knowledge podcast. So Anna and them, I think they run validators on different chains. They do ZK education constantly, podcasts, education, hackathons, conferences. So to me, that's fine. That's great. But in my opinion, if you're going to be voting for a validator, it's great to get your highest APY. But here, you're not even getting APY. You'll get the same, no matter who you vote for in Metapool. You'll get the exact same APY here, as long as you are an active voter. So actually, cool. 0 days left. We haven't got it yet. So, and apparently, or maybe it is you get it yet, but it's on the old Metapool site. Hannah did mention that. So I'm actually going to pull up the old Metapool app site now, just to make sure before I go too far off track that we're getting this down. And that might just take a while to open. So. But the point is, you can vote for anyone in the entire validator set or any grant, and you'll get the exact same rewards as long as you're an active participant in the MPDAO governance system. So that to me is pretty cool. You don't have to vote for a winning thing or vote for something that someone else likes. You can just do what you like, and they will get supported. So you can vote for some random validator that has no votes, and by you voting for them, their delegation will increase, which is pretty cool. You have an active. You are an active voter. You actually change how things are done and how much that validator is getting in Near to run their system, which is really cool. But it can be difficult. So yeah, let me just, sorry, I don't want to get too far off track. I want to just see if it is here. I don't even know. It's very weird. So yeah, I don't see anything here for rewards. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll stream it next week anyways. So if I do see rewards here, I'll just won't claim, and I'll do it next week so we can show it. But anyways, this is all the stuff where you can see how much you would earn, the positions. So I have one locked for 30 days just because I want to show on the stream kind of unlocking. I'll probably try and transfer, it's a very small amount of meta. I'll probably try and transfer that around as well. So when you lock your positions, I would suggest just locking all of it at once, just for a set amount of time. It's just a bit easier. What you can do though, I can't show it, sorry, anymore. I have streamed in the past where I have shown this, but you can lock two different positions or multiple different positions for different lengths of time. You cannot lock multiple positions of the same length of time. So I cannot lock multiple 30-day positions at different MPDAO or meta sizes. It seems as though the smart contract records the length of time as the day, and it can't hold multiple slots for that day, which is probably, keeping it, no overflow errors, no bugs, which is awesome. But you can lock, for example, for 30 days, 100 days, 200 days, 300 days, and then, for example, if you wanted to make sure you can withdraw at certain points in time, you could do that and then migrate once after you were done making all these positions. So feel free to try, anyone who's here. I know it's a lot of kind of words to add to like a screen that's not moving. But that's just, I did one example just to show that it is possible. You can do a 300-day position of what, you know, and then a 30-day position, and it shows you how much voting power you get. You get more voting power the longer you lock, so that can be useful if you want to have more of a say in what happens in governance, which, you know, I think it's more rewards as well. Not 100% sure about that. So we talked a bit about validators, talked a bit about where you can find more information on Near blocks about those validators if you want to get more involved. Again, in my opinion, not everybody really cares about the security of the network. I mean, everyone probably should care a little bit, and hopefully you find a validator that you can support and vote for that, you know, does something that supports you or supports a community you care about. So Near Week, they put out news about Near. I guess I could just pull up Near Week. Let's see what comes up. Perfect, nearweek.com. So I remember when I was working at Near, okay, so I love Near Week, and I'll constantly tell a story. So they're building on Boss, everything like that. They fully support Near from the get-go and from the ground up. But I remember when I was working at the Near Foundation, one of the co-founders of Near Week started working there, and I feel like yeah, anyways, I'm not going to go there. But I spoke to a lot of people that came into the Near Foundation just speaking about Near and, you know, what was cool about it and how they can get started. What I do now, I guess, same thing. But I remember I was explaining to him that basically on Near as a project, you know, every project should be trying to just run a validator. Because all you have to do is have a good amount of Near, right? And just help secure the network, which if you have a good amount of Near, you probably want to run a node. So you can, you know, get delegators, so you could always have an understanding. Like if you run your own, validator, you can index the chain and you know what the actual truth of the blockchain is. And so if you have a lot of Near, like for example, maybe sometimes you're trying to send a transaction on Near and it doesn't go through because you're using someone else's node to send that transaction, right? You build the transaction on your web browser, on your phone. You send that transaction to some RPC node somewhere, and that node tries to actually put the transaction on the blockchain. But you're going through all these different steps. So you're sending through a bunch of different hoops. But if you run a validator, you actually can send the transaction directly through your validator. Like you can actually just send transactions directly through, have a higher chance of them getting included. So you're directly, you know, communicating with the blockchain. You are upgrading the chain, right? So if you have a lot of Near, you also get to kind of vote on new core code changes to the Near core code. I mean, most validators obviously always agree, but you could arguably band together with lots of other, like if you have a large percent of the stake, you could band together with other people with large percent of the stake and say, hey, we're not going to upgrade to this new code. And then you could actually have enough say with it that the Near core developers would have to be like, oh wow, if these people aren't going to upgrade, we have to actually make changes. So that's, you know, who you're delegating to. You actually have a lot of say when you delegate. But anyways, I remember saying that just run a validator, have a bunch of Near, and then just run your company off of the validator rewards. And obviously it takes a lot of Near and it takes a lot of time, but as you can see, it is possible. Near Week is a project that runs on Near. They have a DAO to give out rewards. They have you go to their main website. This is built using the blockchain operating system, right? Technology. The front end is on Near. All these blogs, for example, right? Well, I guess they go to Medium after, which is fine. I think they have, let's see. Okay, well, this is going to like, yeah, everything's going to, this is like a PDF. But anyways, they have audio now for, you know, podcasts and stuff like that. But you can actually vote for a validator that supports this, you know, news platform about Near, which is pretty cool. So, but what I think is maybe, you know, more interesting for the average user is the grant proposals. So they're global proposals. So some people might be curious, like, If I'm from this part of the world, can I still apply? Yes. You can apply from anywhere in the world for a variety of blockchains for a variety of things. Again, it could be education, it could be marketing, it could be for meetups. You want to do an in-person meetup with your friends and family and people in your area to show them about Metapool and getting involved. That's something you can ask for a grant for as well. There's a bit of specifics when it comes to asking for grant funding. So, for example, if you ask for like $1,000, you arguably will need around 1% of the vote. That's just a general calculation. I'm not sure, because that was when the value of the grant distribution was $100,000. I think it's gone above that. And so I'm not sure if now you need 1.3% of the vote. I don't know how they're kind of skewing that. Or if you would need less than 1% because you're asking for less. I don't know how they're going to do that. I would assume you need less than 1% in that case. But you can look at previous proposals and you can see potentially how things could shake out. Now, this is the first grant round where people from the Ethereum ecosystem that have MPDAO will also be able to vote. So right now I'm logged in with my Near account, right? chloethedev.near, and I am on the Near network. If I go to it, I don't think I'm logged in right now. That's just the way it is, I guess. I'll log in another time. I think MetaMask will at least, so let's just do it anyways. Okay, perfect. So on Ethereum, I also have some MPDAO tokens. I still have not voted with them. It costs like, my monthly rewards are 0. I probably should. Let's see, how much am I missing out on? It's 1,000, this many. No, I just wanted to, okay, 1,000, so basically 2,000. That's not correct. That would be nice though, eh? So I'm missing out on $1 a month currently. Sad times. Maybe I should just buy more MPDAO tokens, I suppose. But basically, it'll cost me more than $1 probably to lock these tokens up. So yeah, I think, I can't remember the exact cost. Every time I look at it, okay, so we'll go for max time, get all 10,000 voting power though, does seem somewhat worth it. I can't do it on, I have to do it on my phone. I can't do it on this device. Firefox doesn't work with ledgers anymore. But I think it was like 50 cents or more for the approval. Then I have to do the transfer. So next. $4. You're wild. You're wild. That would take me 4 months, 4.5 months to make that back. So yeah, I love Metapool. I love Ethereum. But I constantly do not see how, I mean, I've submitted transactions for hundreds of dollars before. With gas costs, like the gas costs have been hundreds of dollars. And usually that was withdrawing a large amount, like an airdrop or something like that. But that's unreasonable for the average user. I don't think average users should be using Ethereum mainnet. And so I think the average user should be involved in governance though. So Ethereum exists. You can get MPDAO tokens on Ethereum. Feel free to do so. If you do so, just to expect a lot of costs. So you're going to have to, like, there's going to be costs with approving the token on Uniswap, swapping on Uniswap, withdraw, moving the tokens to here. There'll be costs all across the board. And that could be worth it for you as a user. And that's totally fine. But for myself, I generally interact with Near a bit more. And the APY can be different on Near and Ethereum, I think. I'm not 100% sure of that. But from my understanding, maybe it's not. So it's 100,000 given 14. Maybe it's the same. Yeah, I guess it's the same. But I know the price of the token is different on different chains. So that could influence your decisions. Maybe the price of MPDAO on Ethereum is cheaper than Meta on Near. I do not know, and this is not a trading stream, so we're not going to go into that. But for the grants, you can try and estimate at least what type of percent you might need to come into first, what type of information you might need to add to your grant. So I think it's useful to go to the documents in these proposals, and you could start to see, what other teams are adding to the documents, how long they are, how detailed or not detailed they are, and kind of what they're doing in order to get 22% of the vote, right? That's quite a substantial amount of the vote. You can see kind of, what region they're supporting, and their proposal as well. Not much more to share on the meta pool front. If people have questions, I've gone through it a few times, please feel free to ask. But not too much more to share there. I did kind of want to go through a few other interesting things in the ecosystem that I am working on, and that Chloe the dev .near at least is engaged with. So yeah, take your meta tokens, deposit them, get MPDAO, feel free to vote. Next week I'll showcase the new grants that are out, as well as the rewards and how to withdraw them and all that fun stuff. So I'll drop some of these links in the chat just in case people find them hard to find later. So as co-founder of the Marmaj Foundation, I also help to, engage the community with Marmaj tokens, or the Marmaj token. One of the community engagement initiatives that is out now is Marmaj is participating in, the Feed Your Meme, meme season on Ref.finance. So, very high level, Ref.finance has a platform token called Ref. And when you stake this token, you get XREF. So similar to having Near and staking it to get ST Near and earning in rewards from the ecosystem of the Near blockchain, Ref allows you to stake and get XREF, which represents the rewards of the Ref.finance ecosystem. So as Ref.finance earns rewards, or fees, I should say, not rewards, as the exchange earns fees, those fees are put into the value of XREF, which increases in value in relation to Ref, which then can be used for voting in memes tokens, which is quite interesting. I think it's quite funny. So that's why I wanted Marmaj to be involved. Well, more than funny, obviously I think it's always good to have new flows to try on chain and to engage with. And when, a token has another use case, it's always good to engage, as long as it's safe and you're engaging with good security, of course, and you want to keep all new things you play with maybe on a new wallet, stuff like that. But if you do have some Ref, it can be an interesting way, and you can vote for anyone, not just Marmaj. I'm talking about it because obviously selfishly I care about Marmaj, but there's a lot of interesting projects here. I say interesting because I think, again, meme coins are usually interesting. They're doing interesting things, like sometimes creating bots for Telegram, sometimes creating NFT projects. But Black Jagger, I think, is making an NFT project. Shih Tzu has different, I think, bots. Same with NearVidia, I think. I don't know. I know Intel Near has stuff like that. Anyways, there's a bunch of meme tokens. You can vote for them with your XREF. You could see how teams are doing, or how projects are doing. So Marmaj, I wish they had numbers so you can it's more like a race to see what place you're in. Well, I don't really like competing, but this is obviously a competitive type of thing for the community, which I think is kind of fun. So yeah, you can take your XREF, you can stake it. So obviously Chloe the dev has staked about 1,000 of this. There's about 6 people that have staked, and to get into the listed section. So USM is close, but it looks like Yuan is in the lead. But it looks like you need around 67,000 XREF staked toward your project. So it's more just for fun, obviously. I hope it does I hope this lasts. I mean, okay, memes usually don't last that long. But I hope this does last, many months. So like, obviously it could be engaging for the communities to like, go back and forth and have it be competitive. But just something that the marmaj token is engaging with that I'd share. Another thing that the marmaj token is engaging with is Delta Trade. I love this because my wife does not love this UI very much. She said it looks like a scam. And very well maybe. This is not financial advice. Any tokens you deposit into this project, please be ready to lose. That's just disclaimer on everything. Same with Metapool, same with Ref.finance, all of it. Please, not your keys, not your crypto. If you deposit tokens to a platform, that platform owns your tokens until you withdraw them back to your own wallet and your keys are safe. So, just to finish off, you can log into this platform, right? You can look at your assets. You can see there's levels. You can buy NFT. I'm not going to buy an NFT, but there's NFT. Oh yeah, they have NFTs you can win from the. Yeah, they obviously have NFTs. Yeah, so the NFT isn't opening, so I'm going to leave that alone for a little bit. But apparently I'm level 0. Okay, well there's details here. Cool. Even though NFTs look like something that my wife probably would like. I think so. No. Okay. This is, I guess, what they did on testnet. Legendary, epic, rare, fine, interesting. I like it. Adding a new. Fine. I like it. Sorry. I guess imagine like a video, like a character being in a game, being like, "This is common. This is fine. I can deal with this." So, I've never heard of fine before, but I love it. So apparently with NFTs, that'll help you get points in your trading competitions as you trade. So they're going to be a trading competition for marmaj. Again, I think that this is as well as an activity that should be botted. I do not think people should be manually setting box trading strategies. Highly inefficient. It just causes you to look at the screen way too much and just look at numbers way too much. I think we just need a whole what is box trading for people. But basically box trading, it's pretty easy to show on their pages when you actually go customize one. So this is the easiest way for me to show it. But basically box trading will... I'll do it on the marmaj chart just so it's easy to show what I did as well. So box trading allows you to pick an upper limit of the price and a lower limit of the price, and basically put grids all the way between it. So I'll show you an example that I have here with marmaj to near. It might be a bit confusing because there's no grid. Currently the developer is fixing it. Next week I'll have a live example. But for now, just imagine with me, you can do up to 300 grids. So usually, to be fair, I like just doing more trades. I said at the beginning, I like doing trades on chain. I guess I'll put my camera back on, why not, for a bit. But I like doing trades on chain. It's very fun for me. It's like you're recording something, hopefully in the history books. It's pretty cool. You're supporting all these validators to keep the network up. As you pay gas fees, you're kind of supporting developers with contract fees, and hopefully you're doing something productive on chain and generating value for yourself and others. And if you can do that and actually be additive to the ecosystem instead of subtractive, sometimes some trading is only subtractive, like you're always betting against people. Box trading arguably is additive at times. Depends what the deposits are used for. But hopefully anyways, this might not be fully additive, but anyways, I usually do lots of grids because it'll create more buy and sell offers in that certain range. So you all the trades will be between the range of near at 7.8 and near at 8.5. So that's probably not a good idea because near is currently at 7.2 as an example. So maybe currently, I think we did it last week, I think 6.5 to 8. okay, you know what? Relax. Sorry, my computer, it generates the trades in real time, and so it's very cute how it has this kind of, this just seems new, the green and red in the chart. Awesome. Shows you kind of where your spread is. Anyways, and then the quantity of near per grid. So each trade, how much near is going to be traded. There's a minimum amount, so 0.77 is the minimum. And so it tells you kind of, and this is why it calculates in the browser, or live. That's why your screen might kind of freeze up for a bit there. So if you're using a low power device, expect some lag. If you do 300 grids, expect some lag in the back end. So if you're getting lag there, just drop it down to 30 or something like that, and then do the calculations, or like drop it to 3, whatever. Then do the calculations. So 9, right, 10, it shouldn't lag. You can't do 1, obviously. And then add 300 after. The math won't change, if that's easier. But anyways, it's actually still lagging to get the 300, but still. So that, you can do the quantity per grid. And again, you'll have to, maybe I shouldn't be doing this too many times. So obviously if I want to do like, 5 near per grid, it'll end up costing quite a bit of funds to do something like that. Actually, I'm going to drop the grids amount, because it's probably just making me lag for no reason. Let's just do 3. You get the idea with 3, no big deal. So obviously when you do only 3 grids, you can do quantity of 5, and you can actually put a lot more in. Okay, so I will go to marmaj near just to show it. So currently available balance is 51 marmaj, 84 near. So again, this is a bit broken, but I will be able to show an example of what it looks like. So maybe for us, we would do 0.7 upper limit, 0.8, because arguably we're trading in the range of near. We don't need, we don't need to have huge price swings, hopefully. And hopefully marmaj might change a lot in price in relation to the dollar, but might not change as much in relation to near. So the price spread might be able to stay thinner. And it's, again, very difficult to show here. But just to show kind of a graph, so it's, not completely confusing. We can go on Ref.finance. We can look up marmaj near. We can go to Pro. We can go to like a 1 month chart, for example, and we can kind of see, okay, well, the high has been around 0.804, a little higher than that, and the low, and it gives you the high and low here, but again, the low has been, I think, around here, 0.74. So it seems like maybe between 0.7 and 0.8 might be fine. And looking at this chart, which again should be here, that'll be fixed hopefully in soon. Maybe you go to maybe even 0.73. Again, nothing here is financial advice. Please don't copy this and call it a strategy by any means. And maybe you go to 0.8, 2, right, and bump it up a little bit, because that's historically the ranges for the past month at least, right? How many grids you'd want? Again, personally, I always just want to send this, not for profit by any means. I just like submitting more transactions, so I would go 300. But again, you could see the same thing with, let's say, I think it's funny to do 300, but let's just do like 100. Actually, it's not even gonna work. 50, 25. Should I keep it really simple? Oh, sorry, 1. That's why it wasn't working. There you go. So we can do 50 grids. 1 marmaj each in size, and these will be limits. So it can be a bit confusing at first, but we'll call this marmaj 2. We'll keep it valid for 180 days, half a year. The slippage can be a bit confusing, but basically to check this, you can pretty much just, if you wanted to sell, let's just go 2 marmaj into near, you can actually check the details and you can see what the price impact would be. So the price impact would be less than 1% selling 2 marmaj, 3 marmaj, you'd be around 2%. So if on Delta Trade you wanted to do 3 marmaj lot sizes, you might want to change your slippage to at least 2%, for example. And slippages isn't technically price impact, it's not exactly the same, but it, in my opinion, at least helps to give some kind of estimate of what you might be able to use. Now, in my opinion, the simplest way to handle this is just always trade the smallest lot size. So if I try and do 0.8, I can't do 0.8. The UI says it must be 1 marmaj minimum. So I would do the minimum lot size to keep it very straightforward and very simple. If you do larger lot sizes, especially with meme coins, if you do larger lot sizes with near USDC, it'll probably be fine. But with the rest of these tokens, even marmaj, if you try and do I want to trade 10 marmaj here and 10 marmaj there, you'll probably deal with other errors, which could be fine. You can help the developer fix them if that's what you want to do. But you might just have more issues going through the platform. So smallest lot size, 50 grids. We're going to, we'll keep the slippage at 2%, just again, probably not needed, but that's just to be safe potentially. And then we'll create this vault. Okay, so there is a nice disclaimer that I haven't read. To me, it means by clicking accept, you are agreeing that all your money can just be gone. Okay? If you're okay with that, all of it gone forever, never coming back. Once you click accept, then click the button. Do not, otherwise, please do not click reject and do not click this button. Okay, as long as you're okay with that, you actually read it if you'd like. But to me, with these types of platforms, you are taking your funds, you are depositing them into someone else's smart contract that has full control over the keys. They can upgrade it, and by accident, they can break the contract, allowing a bug afterwards or an attack later on. They can make it so that no one can withdraw by accident. Anything can happen. They can just delete everyone's balances, which you can then reconstruct on chain, which is why I like the blockchain, because technically you can always reconstruct the past, rebuild what's happened, and like, again, it gives you a transaction hash of what happened. Okay, so I mean, when you deposit into your bank, normally you don't know what's happening to your money, so hey, I don't trust them either. And if you say, I'm talking about security, putting in a hash and you can't see it, that's hilarious. But it's because NearBlocks hasn't caught up to the chain yet. So it's spitting out the application spits out the hash instantly, and then NearBlocks takes a few seconds to catch up. But here is the transaction. You can see, what you did, what you created, all the fun stuff. You can go to execution plan, which has more of the beautiful details. And you could have fun digging into all the stuff you did right here. Right. So apparently there's one thing that's not being set properly. I don't know. Something's not being set. The dev's going to fix it. So currently, whatever I just built isn't going to work. But even though it's not going to work, we can look at it. So I'll show you the first one I did, a test like last night. I did 150 grids, which again I think is pretty fun. Whenever I do this for real, I'll just do 300. But you can see that there's 150 orders going all the way down, but only half of them are buys, half of them are sells. So the lowest one is where I set the lowest order, 0.69, and the highest one is 0.819, the top limit of where we would be having our trades. And so what's going to happen is there's a middle price right in the middle here that it calculates, and that's where the price should be currently. So obviously that is not where the price is right now. So the middle price is between is like 0.762 would be the middle price, and then currently marmaj, oh gosh, I have to go out to see it. Apparently marmaj is at 0.755. So there should have been trades that have already gone through, right? Hopefully that's relatively straightforward. But if we look at the record and the trade history, there's no trades that have happened, right? But you can see, I mean, you can't see, sadly, because there's no trading history on here. Oops, it's okay. you can see, let's go, I guess, 24-hour chart. There is some fluctuation on the 24-hour chart between, 0.74 and 0.76, right? So again, if someone then wanted to upgrade their trading bot, what they might then do for like a short-term bot is, let's customize a strategy. We see this one here, let's customize it. And we're just going to make only trades between, and you'll lose on gas fees at some point, but you can go like between 7.4 and 0.75, let's say, right? And you can say, okay, I want 10 grids of one marmaj each. Yeah, there's not that much fluctuation at all. And especially because the price might change between what's it called? The slippage, sorry. Like the trade that you're making, like 2 or 3 trades going through might change the slippage. But I can do an example here. Let's do this example just quickly. And these are all not going to work. Like these are all just wasting gas fee at this point. But let's approve this one. And let's look at the spread. Yeah, we'll end the stream very shortly after this, but I think it's interesting just to look at. Box trading is a very simple strategy. Like nothing that extravagant. And so it's pretty straightforward to kind of visualize and see what's happening, what the trades are going to be. Seems like it's taking a little bit of time to load number 3. Anyways, number 2 that we just made. So again, this one has quite a bit less, 50 again in between. So most of these trades wouldn't even go through, and so you're not very capital efficient, right? All the funds that are being not used on trades isn't very efficient, and so potentially is wasteful. So it's always good. I mean, not always good. It can be useful to make a thinner trade. Okay, so on marmaj 3, for example, I should just close all these after this. So here, this is actually a full buy because it's only on one side. Again, it's not working currently. But what this is going to do is basically setting it to where you have orders now all the way set between 0.74 and 0.75. And so even if you're only ranging in that area, and you can see the size. So yeah, you're only doing one marmaj lot sizes, and you're only making 0.01 near at a time, right? So you're making like, it would be 7 cents a trade. And then who knows how much the smart contract trade would be. The smart contract, like the fee to make the trade, which I'm very interested about. It would probably be above that, probably above, I'm actually very curious. I might have to check that later. So this would be like probably your minimum, the minimum amount you'd be able to do. So you'd probably have to do larger lot sizes at this point. And this wouldn't actually be the price impact. It's just because it's, see, why is it saying that? That's just a bug, I guess. There's no way that would have a price impact of 1%. But yeah, so there are ways, even with low volatility, so not much fluctuation, low volatility pairs. There are still ways to set your box trade strategy. Obviously, this was a bit extreme, right? Saying 0.74 and 0.75. A larger spread than that would probably be more efficient. Who knows? I'm not doing a trading class here. But there's a trading competition that'll be coming out. It is all on chain, so you should be able to manage these spreads. So right now we have 3 different strategies that are currently live. So you on chain submitting transactions, you should be able to then close these vaults as well, right? So this will be a transaction, right? We'll see it on here. So we're calling view the details. We called close bot, right? So that we're actually, you could have a bot that's managing all of the open bots, I guess, and opening and closing them as needed. So here we're going to approve it, right? And you can have a bot that is calling the close bot function, approving the close bot function, scanning for what the current price is, putting up a new open bot. We already looked at what the open bot function looked like. It's here, create bot. It's a create bot function, right? So you just check the prices of a certain token, create a bot with this JSON code or a similar JSON code based on your parameters. Then when you're out of range, call the close bot function, open up a new bot. Check how much your balance is, how much fees you earned, you do a new calculation and put it back up. So it's relatively straightforward. Obviously takes time to tune the bot, which is like the most time-consuming part, not actually creating the bot. But if any developers, here, that might be a fun little project. So I think we closed, I can't remember which one anymore. Yeah, I'll close these off stream, not that big of a deal. I have a few more meta tokens. Well, 18.991 of them. So if anyone here wants to drop a Near account, I'll get 18 meta. Or if someone wants to drop it again and they haven't migrated yet during the stream, if you've already migrated, don't drop your Near account. But if you haven't migrated yet and you have a Near account, feel free to drop your Near account link. I know I'm like 10-15 seconds behind, so I'll kind of wait a little bit. And I'll send you these last little bits of meta. Oh, also, if you don't want to trade, but you want to get some tokens, you can just click this gachapon thing, and you can claim a bunch of rewards and just claim a bunch of tokens. So you can open up a new account that you use for testing out new things. You can hit this gachapon. You can claim some rewards in mostly meme tokens, right? Okay. Let the pop-up come. Thank you. Oh no. That's... Oh gosh. Firefox blocked the pop-up. Okay. Maybe I can do it again because of that. Let's try that again. Okay, so it shouldn't have, if you have a pop-up blocker, that might mess you up. But, oh gosh. There it is. Sorry. Anyways, what this transaction is doing is just adding a bunch of these tokens to your wallet. You hit approve. Again, if you want to read the transaction, read through it. And yes, box trading usually does best with tokens that have a lot of volatility in a certain range, as it might seem obvious. So Marma does not have a lot of volatility, but hopefully does stay in a certain range. So can't have everything. But okay, so I got a bunch of these tokens. Awesome. Woohoo! Come back tomorrow for more. So if you want to just do that for a few days or whatever and get used to the platform, that's one way to get some tokens from various chains. I do not know how much I have. Let's see if I go to one of these bean things. No, that's not a good example. Why do I have? I withdrew that. Okay, is that still nothing? Okay, 1 cent. Okay, so 0.001 marmaj. I think I've earned in that. Bean. You can't even trade the bean. Near video. Let's see. Let's go near to make it more realistic. Okay, yeah, 1 cent. Bean. Almost a hundred. Not a cent. Some other number. Did we do Intel already? Whoops. Intel to near. That's not a cent. Okay, so you won't be earning very much, but you can get. Okay, Hannah gets it. Woohoo! Yeah, I don't know how long behind my. I actually get it out of my wallet, so. Perfect. Thank you very much. So hopefully next week on the stream, I'll be able to actually show an actual strategy that it might actually set. Lots of actuallys. That'd be great. And then hopefully I'll be able to show some grants as well. Going to be showing near Antigua up in here for grant round 7. If anyone here wants to submit, again, please come down to the doc section and submit your grant. Yeah, don't forget to put your miners, your tinkers to work and harvest those bad boys. I think you have to pay gas fees if you do it more than once a day, though. And so I don't know how I feel about trading gas fees for moon tokens. I don't know. So, but if you do it once a day, I think it's free once a day to harvest, a gas free. But thanks you all for coming out. Much appreciated. I'll be doing this, God's willing, every Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, I suppose, for now. And yeah, have fun participating on chain and doing all the fun stuff. See y'all later.